from the NewsChannel 5 network. This is Open Line.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Open Line. I'm Carrie Sharp, and I am glad you are with us today. I have two wonderful guests that you may have seen before here on Open Line. Let me introduce you, Sonya Thomas and John Little from Nashville PROPEL. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you, Carrie.
We're going to talk about all things education tonight, and I know that's really both of your focuses, especially when it comes to metro schools. First of all, if you could tell our audience about the children that you have in metro schools so they know you're a parent too. Sonya, I'll have you go first.
Okay, hi, I'm Sonya Thomas. I'm the executive director for Nashville PROPEL. I have 4 children and 2 who are in MNPS schools, 1 who is graduating this week from Hunter's Lane with honors, and then an 8th grader. So I'm very proud of them.
And John, what about you?
Yep, I have a 6th grader who is transitioning to the 7th grade, and then I have a 8-week-old. So like I said, if you guys hear a little whimper in the background, it's them wanting some, a bottle, a hug.
And you know what? You just bring that baby on. Everybody loves a baby on TV, right? All right, let's jump into it. Sonya, if you would tell us, first of all, what is Nashville PROPEL?
Nashville PROPEL is a parent-led, parent-organized movement. The PROPEL stands for Parents Requiring Our Public Education System to Lead, and we represent Black parents and grandparents from our most struggling communities who have children or grandchildren who are zoned to our lowest performing schools.
Why is this organization necessary?
Well, it's necessary because we have 65% of children in certain neighborhoods who are not reading on grade level. It's necessary because when parents are knowledgeable about the landscape of education, they'll fight for their children. And it's necessary. For far too long, our children have suffered. And so it's time for parents to be activated. And we're building a movement here, Carrie.
Yeah, tell me about that movement, John. Tell me how this all came about, when, and what do you guys do?
Yeah, and really just adding on to what Sonya say, I always say if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And for far too long, our kids, Black, brown, poor people, have been on the menu, not receiving a fundamental education. And so this started with just a group of parents who realized that we had an issue and we wanted to do something about it.
And you guys have been working hard. You attend board meetings, been doing all sorts of things. Give me a glimpse at what you have been doing.
Wow, we've been building a campaign, education issue campaign around personalized learning. COVID-19 came through here and ambushed us all. Mm-hmm. So Nashville, and then we had COVID-19 that hit us, and we knew we were in trouble. We knew that our children were already behind. And so we knew that it was going to be catastrophic to have COVID-19 right on top of that. And so, you know, that's what we've been working on is holding school leadership to the feet to the ground and holding them accountable for recovering our children from learning loss.
Yeah, let's talk about that learning loss. COVID certainly turned every aspect of life on its head in the past year, and that includes education and how our children learn. And overnight, it seems, because I'm a parent too, we all had to learn a new way, from the top educators to the parent to the student, everybody along the way. And for some, by no fault of their own, it has not gone well. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would say what we have realized, there have been so many children falling through the cracks, and with our children being at home and we're watching them learn and we're listening to the teaching. I think a lot of parents, just from our standpoint at PROPEL, realize that we can't just sit back and wait because we have a huge issue that we got to deal with as parents.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Sonya, what did you learn from the past year?
I learned from parents all across the city that what was keeping them awake at night is their children getting farther and farther behind. Mm-hmm. I learned that parents really do love their children and want the best for their children, and they just want a plan to recover them so that they can make sure that their children are successful Is that too much to ask?
I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think so. I do want to pause right here and remind everybody that this is Open Line. This is a discussion between our guests, myself, and you at home. We would love for you to call in. The number is 615-737-PLUS. And while we're talking a lot about Metro tonight, we're interested to hear what's going on in your district as well, whether you're in Metro or you're outside of Metro. Let us know what you've noticed with your children and their learning loss this year, or maybe they're excelling. Let's hear that as well. So be part of the conversation. Give us a call. We'll get you on the air. In the meantime, I will ask the questions. Let's talk about that learning loss. And Sonya, I know that Nashville PROPEL has called for personalized learning plans. What is that?
Wow. So, Carrie, when you think about taking your children to the doctor, you have children.
Yes.
You think about how you take them when they have an illness or even for their wellness checkup. They're assessed first, right? And it just hand you a prescription. And they don't just give you something to send you out the door. What they do is they assess your child. They screen them, or they maybe do some diagnostic work like laboratory work. And then that physician puts a plan of care around that child with mom and dad. They don't leave them out, right? They do not leave them out. Because mom may need to give some Tylenol every 4 hours. And so that's the same thing we're asking.
Why do you do you feel left out?
Yes, we feel left out. For far too long, we've had things done to us instead of with us. And so we were excited when Dr. Battle began to announce every student known. And I think we were very clear that every student needs to be known, but every decision needs to be made together. And that's not happening.
Oh, it's not. It's not. The district, I know, I was following your tweets from back on May 11th, and you were very dismayed about what you perceived as a lack of a personalized learning plan presented by the district. Were they supposed to present one at that meeting?
So we have been speaking with the district leaders, with the central office staff, as everybody knows them, about personalized learning plans. We've been talking about individualized learning plans, and when they said personalized learning plans, that's fine, same thing. We've been talking about this since early 2020 with board members and private meetings. We've been talking about this with the district, and we actually in February presented a plan to them and what that should look like. And that was after we put together a children's cabinet to recover them from learning loss. We actually put together a cabinet of researchers from Harvard, from former Education Commissioner Assistant Emily Freitag, pastors, teachers, and of course, parents and grandparents. And so we're looking forward to working collaboratively with the district. And we met with them in February. We showed them our plan and followed up with them in April to say, hey, you guys made a commitment to, give us the progress and update and to meet with them. And that didn't happen. And so there was a board meeting last week where a student dashboard was presented. And I think that that's great. But we're looking for the plan and we're still asking. And today is May the 17th, and we're still asking.
Yeah, because time is really of the essence here, right, John?
Yeah, I mean, we have about less than 13 days left in the school year. Children have taken TN Ready. They have recently taken their MAP test. And for us, education, as we've been home with our kids, this is our community's pandemic. It's our community's pandemic because we're realizing some of our kids are so far behind that we need goals, we need protocols to help get our kids back to grade level.
Yeah. I'd like to hear more about this children's cabinet and what was discovered when you looked at learning loss. What's the true story here?
We did our research, right? We met with former Secretary of Education under the Obama administration, Arnie Duncan. We met with Robin Lake. We met with former Education Commissioner Kevin Huffman. We did our research, like trying to learn what is learning loss. What does that mean, right? It wasn't really a familiar term for us as parents. And so we did our research, and then we looked to see, did anybody else across the country have a plan to recover children from learning loss? And so what we stumbled up on was Hamilton County Schools, who was actually doing an individualized learning plan, but it was surrounding like social emotional learning. So we actually met with them. We met with John Cunningham, who is one of their programming directors. And we did our research. We put together this cabinet of experts, parents, grandparents, education experts, clergy, community leaders, and teachers. We put these people together and met over 3 months. Put this fantastic plan together and did the darn thing, Carrie. And I'm proud of the people that we work with.
It sounds amazing. What response were you given when you handed this research, this information, this idea to Metro?
We were given a commitment that personalized learning would be implemented in the fall of 2021, and we were excited about that. They did talk about a student dashboard, but we were very clear. Student dashboard is great, and you know, it's nice to have that data because we need to see it, but what are we going to do with it?
Yeah.
What's the child?
Right. We need something more than just like something fancy that goes on the web, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and can I give you like a story? So one time I was working with parents, and the kid was writing "the wait is over." You know, we spell wait W-A-I-T, and he spelled wait W-A-I-U-T, and then he spelled over O-V-A. And it was at that moment, and I always look back to that picture to realize like that was criminal. It was criminal for him to have so much excitement and courage to write his poster, but it be grossly misspelled. Grossly misspelled.
That does strike at the heart, doesn't it?
Carrie, I liken it to going to the doctor and being told that you have cancer, but nobody tells you what type. Like, this data is going to tell us the ugly truth. And Dr. Battle even spoke of that back in January. It's going to tell us the ugly truth. So we need to know actually what is going on with our children and how is the key word, how we're going to recover them from learning loss.
Let's jump to the phone line. Shirley is on the line. Shirley, thank you for breaking the ice with the callers tonight. We always appreciate that. Go ahead with your question or your comment.
Okay, my comment is there's asking what parents can do to.
Just a quick reminder, make sure if you're calling in, you turn down that TV and listen to your phone because there is some feedback and a delay.
Well, my comment is this. They was wondering what we could do. Now, in Sumner County, my grandchildren. Okay. I'll even turn it off. I just want to make sure that they hear this. Well, what it is my grandchildren, I got two that goes to Clyde Regis. We live in Sumner County. We live in Portland. And with my grandson, he really was getting bad, losing his skills for reading. And that bothered me so bad. And little Savannah was too. He's in the fourth, she's in the second. And then Sumner County, which I think is fantastic, came up with this idea. Well, let's give them the option if they want their children to go to summer school. And I thought, oh, great. They continue working with them with their math, with their reading, and they said, yes, ma'am. And so they will get out of school here in Sumner County on the 25th. On the 7th of June, they would start their other school here at J.W. Wiseman, and they would go there until the 1st of June. That way, they're still getting the help with the reading, help with their math, and then, and they're not out of school so long, so that time when they start back school, like on the 5th or the 3rd of August, they've not missed so much school. And I was just so proud of that. And they're working also one-on-one with a student to help them with a problem. They're helping Brody one-on-one right now at his school up until then.
Yeah. And
I just thought that was great, and I just wanted to tell them that's what Sumner County is offering their children.
Shirley,
so,
thank you.
That could be an idea for if anybody else needs it, or talk to their whoever they need to talk to get this started, maybe for their schools.
Yeah, absolutely. Shirley, thank you for calling in.
You're so welcome. Thank you for listening.
Sure, absolutely. Have a good night. Sonya, I see you snapping. You like that plan.
Love it. I love it, and we're advocating for the high dosage tutoring that the district is offering tutoring, but what we don't know if it is high dosage tutoring. Tutoring needs to be it needs to get children beyond where they are. So we advocate for the tutoring. So shout out to Sumner County and shout out to MNPS for doing the tutoring. The name of their program is Promising Scholars, and so we're just asking, what is the promise?
You want more clarity surrounding all of this, it sounds like.
Correct.
Do you think that there has been enough time that has elapsed? I mean, there have been so many moving targets in the past year. What are we doing? How do we do it? How do we keep people safe? Should we be in? Should we be out? Has there been enough time that has elapsed to have these answers?
Yeah, so we've had a generation of time. And I think as you listen to Ms. Shirley, and thank you, Ms. Shirley, for chiming in, Ms. Shirley talked about Sumner County School District looking at the issue and jumping on it, not just with the summer school, but like the one-on-one. And I think what we're asking as parents in Davidson County, how can we get the same thing, if not more, as we look at the resources that we're getting poured into our district? How do we make sure we're really serving the kids well?
And I want to ask you about that, because if you look at Davidson County and then all the districts around it, from Wilson to Sumner to Williamson to Rutherford, we have districts that are really excelling academically, and you have Davidson County right in the middle. Why can't it be that same story across the board?
What do you think, Sonya?
I think that it can be.
Yeah.
Why isn't it?
Because we've gone back to business as usual, and that is not having the parent partnership. People are doing things to us instead of with us.
Talk about that.
Meaning it's the same behavior. Why should we have faith in a system that continues to have the same mindset, have the same culture, and provide the same anti-parent partnership rhetoric that it has done? And I just think that we could get through this faster if we listen to those who are struggling the most and include us. These are our children.
Where do you think that's not happening? I mean, do you have specific examples? I mean, you've been through metro schools for a while now with a senior graduating. Where do you feel like that hasn't happened? Where has the breakdown been?
Yeah.
The breakdown has been with the word partnership. I believe that sometimes even in government, the word partnership is not understood. It's not clear. It's just like having a relationship. The relationship building is not there. And then I think sometimes that when people don't have it all together, they tend to be defensive. And I think that if we work together and the challenges are discussed openly, I just believe that there's some grace there to give. But we're no longer going back to business as usual. We're no longer allowing this district to do things to our children. Every student known and every decision made together, that's what we're demanding, and that's what we're going to get.
John, do you have anything to add when it comes to where's the breakdown that you've experienced?
I think it's just connecting and just realizing that real families have real problems. And so it's so easy to say, I think in MNPS, we have over 80,000 families on any given day. And it's so easy to say we're such a large district. It's hard to look at each student. But as a parent, right? As a parent who sends your kid to school every day, whether they have perfect attendance or if they missed a few days because they were sick, you expect the best, right? And so when Sonya was talking about the framework, I think the framework is amazing. I really champion the framework, but I liken it to me breaking my leg and going into the emergency room. So when I go in, what do? They do an x-ray. They say, Mr. Little, you have a hairline fracture in your leg. And so what do? They give me the opportunity and they come up with ways to fix my broken leg. And so when I look at the dashboard, if I'm not succeeding in reading right, what we're expecting with a plan is to say, John, you're very low in reading. These are the things we're going to do to get you back to grade level. And as PROPEL, parents requiring our public education system to lead, that's what we're looking for, a real plan and no excuses.
I have to take a quick break. We have almost gone through 20 straight minutes here. They're going to get on me here. So we're going to take a quick break, and we have so much more to talk about. We would love for you to be a part of this conversation about education and learning loss in the past year and what should be expected of our districts. Go ahead and give us a call, 615-737-PLUS. We're coming right back.